So, yes. Can you see my slide? Yes. All right. Okay. Thank you, Pavitra. All right. So, as mentioned by Pavitra, my name is Siti Khadijah Ali. You can just call me Siti, and I am from Department of Multimedia, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, and of course from UPM. And yeah, the title for today is the Excel for your research. It's actually the Microsoft Excel for your research. Okay, so okay, so this is the content for today's section, for today's session. So we hopefully we can finish for all modules. We will have like 5 modules for today, and each modules will have 2 sections. And if let's say I cannot complete all the modules, then inshallah I will share the slide to the organizer. And if you really need the slide, then you can contact to SGS to ask for the slide. Okay. So first of all, we will talk about the module 1, the introduction to Excel for researchers. So why Excel for research? And what are the key benefits? And then we will look into the features of the Microsoft Excel itself. All right. So this is the general, I would say, information why we need Excel. And I think everyone here, we have about how many? 50 something. I think most of you or all of you are familiar with Excel. Or if you are not familiar, but at least you have heard of Microsoft Excel. All right. And first of foremost, why Excel is suitable for doing for research. So first is the data organization and its management. It has data storage, and we can also use the features in it to clean the data. All right. And then second is the data analysis. We have it has statistical functions and data analysis toolpack and pivot tables and a lot more. And also, by using an Excel, we can use it to visualize our results as well. So as we know, in Microsoft Excel, it has charts and graphs, and also it has a conditional formatting where we can highlight the result, which result that we want it to be presented, or we want our examiners to see on it, right? And then for simulation and modeling, we have tools. We call it what if analysis, which it has tools like GoalSeek and Solver, which can support the modeling and optimization tasks. And then collaboration and sharing. You are so lucky. We are so lucky because we are doing our research in this era where Microsoft Excel, it provides sharing tools like OneDrive or Google Drive. Okay. In fact, in Excel nowadays, we can have there is a one features command where you can actually send your result to your supervisor or your collaborators, and then they can directly comment to your data. So it very save your time. All right. And then compatibility, it can compatible with other data format such as SVL, XML, and SQL. Automation and customization, it has macros and VBA, which it can help you to automate repetitive tasks and build custom data processing scripts. And that it has an accessibility and cost effectiveness. Interface, user friendly, and then it is widely available. Okay. And also, I think as a UPM students or staff, we can get an access to Microsoft Excel. You don't have to buy. You can use your ID, your student ID, I think, to use the Microsoft, to install the Microsoft Excel, and then you can directly use it. Okay. So just now we are talking about why we use the Excel, right? For in our research. And then right now, we will look into what are the features in the Microsoft Excel that can be used by the researchers. So first, in terms of data organization, it has tables, all right? Sorting and filtering, and also data validation. In terms of data analysis function, it has formulas and functions. It has pivot table, conditional formatting, and data analysis to pack. In terms of data visualization, again, chart and graphs, then slices and sparklines. Automation and efficiency, it has macros and VBA, Power Query, Power Pivot. In terms of collaboration and sharing, it has comments and notes, as I mentioned just now, sharing and co-authoring, protection and security, data integration, and in terms of data integration and connectivity, it has import and export tools, and also internal data connections. So now we move into our second module. First section, which is data management and organization. First section is data entry and structuring data. So we will look into why it is important to have a structured data, right? So in nowadays, if you notice, researchers, we are sharing our data to people out there. We have the data, and then what we can do is we will publish the paper, and then we will provide the data as well in the paper. So whoever wants to use our data set, our data set, then they need to cite our paper. So that is one way of you to get the high citation. Okay. So but before you can do or you can go to that level, it is very important for you to make sure that your data is organized nicely, so that people can understand and people can directly use. Because if let's say your data is not in a proper way, then how other researchers can use it, how other researchers can understand your data. So that's why I say it is very important for you to have a structured data. And in order to get a structured data, you can use all the features in the Excel to help you to get the structured data, right? So the importance of structured data, first is to ensure the data consistent and accurate, and then to facilitate you in data analysis process, and then to improve the data reproducibility, enhance data sharing and collaboration, save time and resources, support automation, improve decision making, and then facilitate integration with other data sets. Okay, so if you have a proper data set, then it will be easy for you to integrate your data set with other data set. So we can expand our data set. All right. So if you look, this is the example of the poorly structured data set. So if you see, there is no problem with the ID. The ID is okay. And then we go to the second column, which is the patient name. You can see the first name is okay, fine. We have a patient name. The second, we also have the second patient name, but then we miss out our third patient name. So it'll be difficult, right? Then we go to the next column, the blood pressure. The first patient, it has his blood pressure there, but then we miss our second patient's blood pressure. All right, so it is kind of like difficult, kind. It is not nice to see this kind of data. And same goes to the visit date. So if you see, there is no problem with the visit date. The data is there, but then it is not in a same or similar format, right? So it is also like difficult for us. And for the last column, it gives us false or incorrect information for the third patient. So if you look into this type, this table, we can see that it is not nicely to see. Okay. And we as a researcher, we don't want this to happen to our data, right? So consequences of poorly structured data set, data inconsistency and errors, increased time and resource for data cleaning, difficulty in data analysis, lack of reproducibility, misinterpretation of data, reduced collaboration and sharing. There will be no one who wants to collaborate with us later on. Inefficient decision making and data loss and redundancy. Okay. So now we will look into the data entry best practice. Okay, the best practice for the data entry in our research. So first is you need to plan your data. So first define the data field clearly. So like in our previous example just now, we have the data and the title is okay. All right. Okay. And then define a data dictionary, document definitions, format, and data types for reference. This is what I'm talking about just now. If you look into the format just now, for the visit date, it is not same for all the data, for all the date here. All right. Use data validation techniques. So you have to know what are the data validation techniques that you want to use to make sure that your data entry is okay in the Excel. So you can use the data type constraint, this to restrict the data type, range check, drop down list. These are the examples of the data validation techniques. Later on, I will show you some of the I maybe show to you the data validation techniques if you got time. Okay. And then standardized data entry procedures, consistent format. This is what I'm talking about, consistent format, naming conventions, and then avoid free text. Automate where possible. There are times where you can you might know which data in your table that can be automated. All right. So you have to know. That's why in the first tips just now, you have to plan. When you plan, then you know what you need, what you do not need. All right. So to automate, you can use data entry forms, autofill features, and batch data uploads. Conduct regular quality checks, double checks entries, error logs, data audits. These are the features in the Excel that you can use. Train data entry staff. This is if you have a staff. Okay, I know that some of PhD students, you have staff that can help you for the data entry. So, but you need to train your staff so that they can put in the data correctly. Comprehensive training, regular updates. And then backup and security, data backup, access control. So in Excel, there is a features on data backups, and also you can limit whoever can access the data and whoever can make changes to the data. All right, so that will be useful features and very important features, at least to help to secure your data. Right. And then we go to a structured data set for research project. So structured data set is a collection of organized data, arranged in a clear and systematic format to ensure consistency, easy of analysis and retrieval. Rows and columns, data is stored in tabular format where rows represent records and column represent variables. So if you look into the previous example just now, this one. So for the column, it gives the variables, and then for the row, it gives the data. Okay. Okay. Yes. Unique identifiers. Each record typically has a unique identifier or primary key to avoid duplication and ensure proper referencing. Consistent data types. Data values are categorized into specific types like numeric, text, and dates. Like this one. If you compare this table with the previous one, you can see that the second table here, the example here, is, I would say, better match from the previous one. This is the complete one. The one that we want to have for our data is something in this table. All right. Regular structure, missing data, redundancy, and inconsistency are minimized or handled systematically. We cannot, especially for those, I do understand, especially for those who are doing the research in social science, you are dealing, you are required to have survey, and the participants are human, and human, they have various variables, and sometimes in your survey, it is hard for you to control, especially when you ask people's opinion. So they have to write down their opinions, and sometimes they use it's hard for you to understand the sentence, or some of them, they are just written something that is not necessary. So you must know how to handle all these problems. Okay, so and basically you can use the features in the Excel to control that, at least. For example, if let's say there is a section that needs to be written down by the participants, but they left it with nothing. So it will be no data for that. So you can basically control by setting all the missing column with 0. Okay, so it'll be easy for you to handle that later on. Machine readable format, such a data can be stored in spreadsheet or relational databases. So this is the example of the structured data set. Then we move to the second part, using the Excel table for dynamic data management. So by using Excel, we can structure our data dynamically. Okay, so properly structuring your Excel worksheet helps keep your data organization ready for analysis. So first, you can use the tables. You can convert your data into an Excel table. Table dynamically adjusts when you add or remove columns or rows. Table allow automatic range expansion, easy formatting and referencing. Okay, so I think for this part, I can show you very simple okay. So this is basically the interface for the Excel. I hope that everyone familiar. Even if you're not familiar, but at least you know this is the Excel. All right. So this is the interface of the Excel. So for the first one, how to create the table. First, you can go to the insert, and there is a table here. All right. So cancel. If let's say we have if let's say we want to create a table here, so you can go insert table, and then it will ask you where is the data for your table. It's okay, you can just if let's say there is none, for instance, like, let me, maybe I can give, I will write down something like name. Name. This one. This two. Betul. Let's say this our no? This one. Let's say you have this, so you select the data, you go to the table here, and then you will stick on your table has header, so you click OK. So it will help you to have this table here, a nice table here with a color. So basically you can do this manually, but now Excel, it can help you to create one with something like this automatic for you. Okay, so you can just do as what I showed just now. All right, and then okay, so name ranges, use dynamic name range to automatically update data references when data set grows. So you can go to the formula, define name. Okay, so this for the offset. So the purpose of Excel offset is to return a range of cells or single cell based on reference points. So I think, oh no, I don't have it here. Okay, let me. So for the offset, what you can do is, okay. So for the offset, so basically offset can helps you to get a dynamic data. So for instance, let's say, okay, let's say we want to get data from the test one. All right, so the offset, this is the formula for the offset. Can you see my Excel right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is the formula for the offset. So when you type equal of double F SET offset, then it will give you this range here, the reference, rows, column, height, and width. The importance and the compulsory that you need, compulsory data that you need to be include here is the reference, rows, and columns. The height and the width is the optional. All right. So for the reference, you must do, it's like a private point. So like, let's say I want to get a data for the test one. So the reference, you can, if let's say you choose the reference to be A1 here. So the A1 is the ID number. So you can click on the A1 here, Excel A1, and then you put on comma, and then let's say you want to know Acheong's mark for test 1. So the test 1, the matrix for the test 1 for the Acheong is 3, 2. So the rows will be 3 from 100 to 100 to here. It will be 3. And then it is move to 2. So it is 3 from the 3 rows from the starting point or the reference, and then 2 columns from the starting point. So if you click enter, then you get 20. If let's say here I change to 3, so you can see in the H1 here, the number here will be changed to 30. If let's say this is 50, so you will get this one 50. All right. So same goes if let's say you want to get the test 2, so you can go to the equal offset reference. You can use ID again, number ID, and then 3, let's say 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 3 column. So you get 10. So if let's say I change marks test 2 for the Acheong to 60, then now it become 60. All right, so that will be the useful of the offset example of the first example. And then like go back. Mm. So I will share my slide again. Automatic calculation and summaries. So formulas, it has sum, average, count if for total, average, and count. VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP for searching values. If or if else for logical conditions. Pivot tables. Use a pivot tables to dynamically summarize, group, and analyze large data. Example, summarize sales data by region, time, period, or category. So in this one, again, I think I will yes. I will again share my Excel. Okay, so all right, so this is our data. And to use the pivot table, you can go to insert, you go to the pivot chart here, And then you can select the data first. And then you can use the new worksheet. So it will be open up the new sheet for you. So what you can do here, if let's say you want to get the test one, so you can click on the test one here, and it will bring, you can drag it to axis categories. Then you can get the result here. So you can get to know the result for the test one. Test one. So the total for the test one is 90. And also actually this one. All right, so this is the example of the pivot table. I think if I show to you this one, it will be more straightforward. Okay. All right, and dynamic dashboard, you can combine pivot tables, chart, and sizes to build an interactive dashboard. Use sizes and timeline for filtering data dynamically. Dynamic array formulas, you can use sort, filter, and unique to make the dynamic list. For example, you can use the sort filters, and this is the example. I will show you for the filters later on. Okay. For the filters, it can help us just to get what data we want to be displayed. To be displayed or visualized. Then for linking and consolidate the data, so external data connection, you can connect the Excel to external data source like database, websites, or CSV files. You can go to data, get data, and then the data will be updated without manual imports. Combine the data, you can use the Power Query to combine and clean data from multiple resources. For protecting and securing the data, you can use the log cell you can use the log cell to protect the data. It's kind of like difficult a bit to this one. If let's say you want to protect your data, so what you can do is you can go to review, protect sheet. So you can give a password to this sheet, and then you can allow people to do certain operation, and you can disallow people to do certain operation. So it's up to you to choose which app operation or which action you want to allow or disallow to people. Right. So for this one, I allow the user to select or to select log or unlock cell, but they cannot format the cell. They cannot format column, format rows, insert, and extra. Okay, you can only select the lock and unlock cells only. Okay, if you click on okay, then when as a user, any other user try to change the data, then it will give you some warning like this. Right? The cell or chart you are trying to change is on protected sheet. To make a change and protect the sheet, you might be requested to enter a password. All right. So if let's say I know the password that I can key in, then I can change. Let's see. All right. So this is very important for to secure your data so that people are not abusing your data. Okay. Track changes, like I say, Excel, it allow us to comment or track changes or do the track changes so that easy for you. You can share your data to your supervisor, your collaborators, and then they can comment, they can know the track changes, any changes in the data. Okay. Handling large dynamic data set. So here are the function, the features here: filter and sort, freeze spans, split data into sheets. So filter and sort use Excel's built-in filters to dynamically analyze subset of your data. Freeze span, keep column or row headers visible while scrolling. Split data into sheet. Use filters and pivot tables to separate data logically into multiple sheets. Data validation, the drop down or restriction. Excel data validation feature is a powerful tool for ensuring data accurate and consistent data entry. It helps restrict inputs to predefined format, range, or list, reducing errors in your data set. So these are the steps for setting up the validation. So yeah, I think we can do this together. Looking. Okay, so this is, let me show you. Okay, so for the data validation, let's say this, again, we use the same data here. We use the same data as here. So let's say we want to get some information from test one. Just imagine that you have a bunch of data for this table. So let's say for the test one, we want to get, we want to highlight the marks between whoever get mark less than 30, let's say. Okay, so what you can do is you can select the test one, the marks here, and then you can go to the data here, and then you go to this one, data validation. Okay, so in here, then you click on data validation. It has several other option here, circle invalid, clear validation circle. So this for these two, I will let you to do by your own. So for this one, I will give an example on the data validation first. So data validation. So this one, it will give to you this box here. So for the validation criteria, it allows whole number or decimal. There are other option here. Whole number, decimal, list, date, time, text length, and custom. So let's say we choose the whole number here, and then the data is between perhaps 10 to 30. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Then you can see that in here, it will give some error here. So because, why this happened? Because we, because we want the value only between 10 to 30. So 50 is not in that requirement. So that's why it will give us this data validation error. Okay. Okay, so that will be the examples for the data validation. Okay, restrict numeric values. This is the example that I shared just now. This for the to restrict the numeric value here. Validate text length. So again, you can use the data validation just now to set this one. We will allow for the text length for the data less than or equal to 50. So if let's say you have someone who write down the opinion in so too lengthy, so you can, and you want to focus only for certain, they are for the certain character only, then you can do this first. You can do this technique. Okay, so that you can focus on that one first, then later on you will focus on the one that is in the long sentence. Okay, so Excel allow custom formulas to enforce more complex rules. So select the target cells, open again by using the data validation technique here. So you can use this data validation to minimize your work. Okay. And then how to handle the missing data. So if let's say you have a survey, and then there are certain section that participants are not answering. So that session will be blank or null on NA. So how are you going to spot the data? If let's say you have a bunch of data, if let's say you only have like 10, 20, 50, it's not a problem. But if let's say you have thousands of data, then it will be difficult for you. So how to spot the missing data? You can use the features, the conditional formatting, which what you can do is you can highlight the missing data and then select the data set, and then you can go to the new rule, and then you can choose format only cell that contain, and then set to highlight cells with blank or specific text like NA. Okay, and then next you can use apply the filter to identify blank or placeholder values. Okay, so I think it kind of difficult if I open up my PowerPoint, I open up my my Excel. So I think it would be better if I focus on the PowerPoint, and then if let's say we have a time, then we can go to the Excel. Okay. And then that would be how to handle the missing data. Then how to replace the missing data. So we can replace the missing data with a default value. So you can use the find and replace. This is the easiest approach. Okay, you can use the find and replace, and then you can put in the null or any default value. So this is the step. So you can select the data range, and then you Control H for the Windows, Control H for the Mac, Command Shift H. Or you can find from the top part of the Excel, and then you can enter the placeholder, like for example the NA, and then you can find and replace that unknown with any value you want. It's either 0 or negative, it's up to you. And then you replace the blank cell, you can use a formula. You also can use a formula to replace a blank cell. So you can go to add a helper column, and then use a column like this the standard formula, equal to if bracket is blank, A2 is the cell that is blank, and then default value, then A2. So the A2, if it is blank, then it will give you the default value there. Okay. So the default value you can replace with any value lah, 0 or anything. Okay. And then filter out any missing data. So you can remove rows with missing data. So you can use the filter to delete the row with missing data. But this approach is not suitable for all data. It's depends on your hypothesis, depends on your framework. Okay, your plan for your research. So what you can do is you can apply a filter and select rows with blank, and then you can highlight and you can delete the rows, those rows. Okay. You also can remove rows using go to special, select the data set, and then Control G for the Windows, Control G for the Mac, and then click special, and then choose blanks and OK, and right click, and we delete all the blank rows. Use built-in tools for data cleaning. So you can use the features remove duplicates in data section to clean duplicates rows that may cause misinterpretation can cause the missing data problem. And then fill with average or median. You can use the formula checking error checking to locate potential issues in your data set as well. Microsoft for the next one is to remove the duplicates. Pavitra, can we have rest for 5 minutes or 4 minutes?
Yes, yes, you can.
5 minutes rest, eh?
Okay.
So can I proceed? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. So, we will go to the removing duplicates. Okay. So let me share the slide. Eh, Here. Mhm. 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 Correction. All right. So, removing duplicates. So, Microsoft Excel provide built-in tools to identify and remove duplicate rows or values in dataset. So, first, as usual, you need to prepare your dataset. So, you creating a backup. Okay. So, this is the first step is as usual, prepare your dataset. And then what you can do is you can highlight the data range where you want to duplicate, and then yeah, you can highlight. So this basically types of data that you can highlight. A specific column, a group of column, or the entire data set. Depends. Okay. And then after you highlight the data, then you can use the remove duplicate tools. So where you can get the remove duplicate tools, you can go to the data tab, and then the data in the data tools, there is a remove duplicate. So you can choose that option. Then configure the removal. After you click on after you click on the remove duplicates, then there will be a box pop out. Then you can it will show a list of columns, okay, the one that you highlight, and then you can select the columns you want the Excel to check for duplicates. So if duplicates need to be identified based on all columns, select all columns. If only a specified column, then uncheck the others. Then you can click OK to proceed. And then you will see the result. Then it will give you the result. So Excel will display a summary message stating how many duplicates were removed, how many unique values remain. Then you can review the dataset to confirm duplicates have been handled correctly. Okay. So next is for the data sorting, filtering, and conditional formatting. Excel is a powerful tool for organize and analyze data set. So data sorting in Excel, it helps organize your data set by rearranging rows based on a specific criteria. So steps to sort the data. First, you can select the data range by highlighting the rows and columns you want to sort. And then you can go to the data tab. On the toolbar, you select the data tab. And then you can click on sort. For single column sorting, you can click sort A to Z. I think for this one, I think for these features, we normally use this one. Okay, to sort is either by ascending or descending order. And then for multi-column sorting, click on sort in the data tab, choose a column in the sort by, select order, ascending or descending, and then add levels for sorting by additional columns. And then this is the for the example, if let's say you have the data in by dates or sales, then you can use this one. Okay, use this features. And then to filter the data in Excel, filtering display only the rows that meet specified criteria. Okay. So how to apply the filter? Again, you can select the data range, which data that you want to apply the filter. You can highlight the data set, including the headers, and then enables the filters. You can go to the data tab and then click on filter, and then the small drop down arrows will appear in the header row. Then you can apply the filter. Click the drop down arrow for the column you want to filter. If let's say your data is about sales, okay, the one that you want, the data that you want to filter is the sales, and you want to find out which staff that can achieve sales more than 1,000. So you can click on the small triangle there. Then you can choose the sales 1,000 and above. Then it will give you all the data with sales more than 1,000, including the staff number, the staff ID, and extra. Okay, so you can also use text filters, number filters, or date filters for more advanced filtering. So again, the example in the list of students, filter by grade to display only those with grades above 80. Okay. Conditional formatting in Excel. Conditional formatting highlights cell based on specific rules or conditions. Same as the data range, and then go to home, and then you can choose the conditional formatting, choose a rule type. There are several types in this conditional formatting. There are highlight, cell rules, top, bottom, color scales, data bars, custom formula, and extra. So this is the explanation of all this rule type. So you can choose you once you choose this rule type, then it will give you the result. All right, in color. And then you can combine and also splitting the data, the text to column, by using text to column or flash fill. So Excel provide powerful tool like text to column and flash fill to help you to split or combine the data efficiently. Okay, so to split the data with text to column, if let's say you have your first name and second name, these two names are in one cell. So you can use text to column to split this into first name and last name. Okay, so how to do that? So you can select that data. Okay, and then you can go to the data and choose text to column, and then the delimiter will pops out, and you can select the delimited if the data is separated by spaces, commas, tabs, and then you can click next. Then select the delimiter type, choose the delimiter. If let's say space, comma, or tab, then you see a preview of how the data is splitting. And then choose the destination, then the data will be split. Okay, and then click finish. So you can use the flash fill as well to use the same way. So basically, if let's say you have name John Smith, John is the first name and Smith is the second name. So what you can do is you can put the John Smith, let's say in the cell A2, okay, and then the John is in B2. So B2 will indicate the first name, and should be the C2 will indicate the last name. So how to use the flash fill? You can go to the data tab, choose flash fill, and then Excel will automatically extract the first name for all rows. And then you can repeat the same name for the last name in the C2, as I said just now. So apply the flash fill to extract the last name, then it will extract the last name lah, and then it will display on the C2 as the last name. Combining the data, you can use formulas or flash fill to combine data from multiple columns into one. So let's say John in column A and Smith in column B. So by using a combining data, then you can combine the John Smith perhaps in column column C. So first method, you can using the concatenation formula. So write the formula. So this is the formula for to do the combination. So equal A2N, and then you put a space there, and B2. So in the new column, you need to type this one. Then this will combine the A2 and B2 and separated by a space. So that's why you need this space in the middle there. And then copy the formula, and or you can just drag the formula down, and it will be applied to the rest of the rows. Using the flash fill, you can type the combined result in the new column. So type the John Smith manually for the first row. So for the first row, and then use the flash fill, select the cell with the combined result and go to the data, click the flash fill, then the Excel will automatically combine the rest of the rows. Oh, Okay, so now we move to module 3, which is the data analysis and statistics. So descriptive statistic and analysis tools. So again, as I said, each modules, module from module 2 to module 5 will have a 2 sections. So for this one, we will go to the module 3, first section, which is the descriptive statistics and analysis tool. So we will look into the average, median, standard deviation, and count if. So how to use all these function. So for the average is to calculate the mean of a set number. So the syntax is equal to average, bracket, and then the series of the numbers that you want to get the mean or the average. Okay. And then let's say you have a list of numbers in cell A1 until A10. Then what you can do is you can equal to average bracket A1 double dot until A10. The double dot means until A1 until A10. Okay. And then median. Median is to find the median value in the database when arranged in ascending order. So before you can use the median, then you need to make sure that your data is in ascending order. So so basically you can use the filter first to rearrange or to reorder your data in ascending order, and then you can apply the median. Okay. So for the syntax, it will be equal to median and the list of numbers. So these are your syntax. So for example, if let's say your data set is in B1 to B10, then and your data is already in the ascending order, then you can just straightly away apply the equal this formula, equal median and all the data that it will give you the result. For the standard deviation, basically there are two types of standard deviation: population and sample of the population. So since there are two different standard deviation for the population and the sample, so the syntax also a bit different. Okay, so for the standard deviation, it is STDEV. For the sample, it will be .s, a bracket, and a list of number. If it is for the population, it is .p, then a list of number. Okay, it's similar, but the difference is in terms of .s and .p. Okay, and then if let's say you have, if let's say your data is in C1 until C10, it is a sample. So then you can use the this formula here, equal to STDEV.S C1 until C10. For the entire population, then you can use equal to STDEV.P and then the list of C1 until C10. Okay. For the count if is to count the number of cells in a range that meet a specific condition. So let's say, so the syntax for the count if is equal to count if equal to range and criteria. What criteria you want to have for this particular data, for instance. So parameter range. Yes. Parameters for the range of cells to count, and criteria is the condition to match. So for example, to count the cell in D1 until D10 that contain the number less than 50. So you can use this formula. Okay, so it will be equal to count if bracket D1 until D10 because your data is in that column, and then the criteria will be less than 50. So it will give to you the data with less than 50. And then if let's say in your column E, you want to find only the male, not the female. So you can change the criteria to male. And then for the range, you can use E1 until E10 because the data is in that column, in that cell. Okay, this is the example, the exercise. So if let's say I ask you to find the average age, so how you can use this? How you can do this? This one, it will give, Okay, so for this one, equal to average Hmm. Hmm. I think for this one, I think Hmm. So perhaps for this one, the answer is something like this, average A, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A1 to A5. Okay. And then for the median is equal to then median A1 to A5. Okay. So for this one, it will be stdv sample.s. Sorry, this one is median score. Score is B. Okay. So for the score sample, B1 to B5. Okay. And for the count meals, this one, I will leave it to you how to answer this one. Okay. Okay. All right. So, and then we will look into the inferential statistics, which is the t-test, ANOVA, and regression. So for this one, you need to install Toolpub. Okay. So how to do this? You can open your Excel, you go to data, you go to the analysis tools, and in tools, you can click on analysis toolpub. So I think maybe I can share to you. Okay. So what you can do first is you can go to the data here. This is your Excel. So you go to the data here. Go to the analysis tools here with a gear icon here, analysis tools. Then it will pop out the add-ins box here. Then you can tick on analysis toolpub. Then you can click OK. And then you will see right bottom the analysis tools. In your Excel, there will be data analysis. Okay, where in here you can use you can see all the t-tests for the two sample t-test for the equal or unequal, z-test, regression, and so on. Okay. Okay, so once you have the analysis toolbox, analysis toolpub, okay? So let's say you want to use the t-test. So why you use the t-test? T-test is used to compare the means of two groups before, for example, is a before or after treatment. Okay, so as usual, you need to prepare your data and then you run the t-test. So you go to the data, you click on the data analysis, and then you will choose the t-test to sample equal or equal, depend on your assumptions or hypothesis. And then you can select the data range for both groups and choose where to display the results. Then it will give you the p-value. So you can interpret your result based on the p-value. If let's say the p-value is less than 0.05, you can reject. If it is greater or equal to 0.05, then you can accept. Okay. ANOVA is to compare means across 3 or more groups. Okay, and that's of variance. So again, you can prepare the data into 3 columns, and then you can run the ANOVA, go to the data analysis, choose ANOVA, single factor, and then you can highlight the entire data, including all groups, and then choose where to display the results. And then the results comes out, then you can interpret. Okay. Then regression is to understand the relationship between the variables, predicting y. For example, to predict the y from the x. So again, what you can do is you can prepare the data, and then you can predict the variable, the independent. You need to identify the independent variable and the dependent variable. And then you can run the regression, same again, data analysis, regression, and then you can select the input range, the input y and the input x, and then choose where you want the result to be displayed. And then the result will be displayed and you can interpret the data, right? Then now we move to module 4 for the data visualization and reporting. So how to create an effective chart. So for the data visualization, other than the data itself, the data visualization and reporting also important, especially when you want to write down your results in your thesis or in your poster or even in your paper. So if your data, if you are failed to visualize your data correctly or nicely, then you'll be in danger during your viva. Right? So it is also important to choose the right chart for your data. You cannot simply, not all data suitable not all, let's say, pie chart suitable for all data. Okay, you really need to see which data is suitable. How to know which data is suitable for which chart? First is by reading. Okay, first when you read any journals in your research, then you will know which for this type of data, which chart or which chart other researchers use. So you can use. Then that would be the first way. Second way is based on your own experience itself. So basically, if you just started to do the research, you don't have much experiences, then you have to do a lot of reading to see how other researchers in your area reporting their results. Because basically the type of the results for you and other researchers in your area will be not so much different. Okay, basically it's more or less quite similar. Okay, so you can just learn that by reading, by reading research journal. So first, the hint here is to understand your data. Again, you need to identify what you want to communicate. And then you select the data, and then you can insert the chart. For the chart, it's in insert tab. And then you can choose the chart from the chart group. and then customize the chart, add the label, title, legends, format colors, green lines, and other visual, and then analyze and refines. So that make sure that people, when they look to your chart, they straight away knows what you are talking about. So your chart basically presenting your data, presenting your work. Okay. And for comparison chart, to compare value across categories, best chart and when to use. So for the best chart, column chart used for a quick comparison of value across categories. For example, the sales by product or gender. And then bar chart similar to a column chart, but horizontal bars are used. Best for comparing categories with long names. When to use, showing changes across multiple categories, comparing distinct item. Trend or time series chart to show data changes over time. Best chart is line chart or area chart, and then when to use is to visualize continuous data over time. For the proportional day chart to show how parts make up a whole. First is what is the best chart for this one is the pie chart and the donut chart. Okay, for the pie chart, it shows proportion when the total is 100%. Keep the number of slices limited. 4 to 6 is ideal. Please not to make a pie chart more than that. It will be disaster. Okay, for the donut chart, similar to a pie chart but with a hollow center, useful for multi-layered data. When to use is to represent percentage. And avoid when comparing too many categories. Again, as I said, it depends on your data. Whatever it is, you need to look back to your data. Distribution chart is to show the distribution of frequency of data. Best chart is the histogram, box and whisker plot. For the histogram, display the frequency of data within intervals, and box and whisker show distribution, median, and outliers. When to use is to analyze how data is spread. Relationship chart is to show relationship or correlation between variables. Best chart, scatter plot, and bubble chart. When to use is when you want to identify trend, clutter, or outliers. Then customize chart elements, the axis, levels, title, and legend. Tips for best chart presentation, keep it simple. Okay, use descriptive titles, consistency, and alignment. Make sure that all the elements are aligned for a professional appearance. Adding or editing chart title. What you can do here is you can insert a chart. You can select your data and insert a chart by navigating to the Insert tab and choosing the desired chart type. Add or edit a title. Click on the chart and then Excel will display the chart tools on the ribbon. And then you can go to the chart design and add the element, the chart title. And then above the chart or centered overlay. Yes. Then customize the title. Click on the title box in the chart and type your desired title. Use the home tab to format the title. Yes. This is basically on how to make your chart more presentable. Customizing axis labels. So click anywhere. So select the axis labels. Click anywhere on the chart to activate it. Right click on the horizontal or vertical axis. Then select format axis. Then you can add or edit a title. And then modify the axis text. In the format axis span, you can change the number format, adjust the interval, add or remove tick marks and line. Customize font and size. Go to the chart and then click on add chart element, axis titles. Select primary horizontal axis or primary vertical axis. Click the axis title in the chart, then type your desired label. Customize the legend, enable or disable the legend. So, I don't think legend is not important. I think legend is important in the chart. So you better add it in your table so that people can see what this section in your chart is all about. Okay, so how to activate the legend? You can go to the design, the chart design, add chart elements, and then choose legend. And then you can repositionize your legend in whichever you think it's suitable. Okay, and then you can edit the entries. Right click on the chart and select the data. And then in the select data source, you can edit the series names. Okay, format legends. Right click the legend in the chart and then you can select format legend. In the format legend pane, you can change its position, adjust the size, style, and also the color. So to create a combo chart and trend lines in Excel, there are two ways. It's either to create a combo chart or edit a trend line. So to create a combo chart, you can prepare again. You need to prepare your data and make sure that your data is well structured in column with headers. So for example, this is the data you have. Okay, so then to insert a combo chart header, so you can highlight all the data here in the table, and then go to the insert tab, and then in the chart group, select insert combo chart, and then choose custom combo chart. And then in the dialog, you can assign the sales to a column and expenses to a line chart. This is by using a combo chart. If you want to add the trend line, if you want to use the trend line, so you can select the chart series. Okay, click on the data series, the line or bar representing sales, to which you want to add a trend line. Add the trend line, right click on the series and select the add trend line. Alternatively, you can go to the chart and click on the plus button. Customize the trend line. A format trend line pane will appear on the right. This is a normal practice in the Microsoft. So, and then choose the type of trend line. It can be linear, exponential, log, polynomial, moving average. Again, you have to see your data and make sure that your data is suitable with which trend line you choose. Okay. Finalize the chart, adjust the trend lines format in the format trend line pane, and add any additional labels or grid lines for better interpretation. To create a professional dashboard in Excel, so you also can actually create a dashboard in the Excel in the simplest way. Simple but professional. Okay, so an effective dashboard typically includes table, chart, filters, and KPI metrics. So again, you need to prepare your data set, and then before creating a dashboard, you need to organize your data. Store data in a table format with headers for each column, and then clean the data. You have your data, and then you have you have your data, then you need to make sure that your data is organized, and then you need to clean the data, remove any duplicates, fill missing values, and ensure consistency in formatting. Then you can create a table by highlighting your data set, your clean data set, by go to the insert, create the table. Okay. And then you can build pivot table for data analysis. You can select your data table and go to insert. By go to insert and choose pivot table, drag and drop field in the rows, column, and value section to summarize data. And then you can analyze the sales by category and month. And then rename the pivot table for clarity. And then after you have the pivot table, then you can use the pivot table to create your chart. So by selecting the pivot table, and then you choose insert chart to include your chart, and then choose a chart time. And then customize organize your chart by adding title, labels, and adjust color scheme for better readability. And then link the chart to the pivot table. Chart will dynamically update when the pivot table changes. So this is I would say also important. So we want to have data, and we want to have a chart that is linked together. Okay, so once you change any data in your table, then the chart will follow any data in your table. That is the main goal of doing this. Okay, and then you can use the slicers and filters for the interactivity. As slicers, you can go to the pivot table. You can insert the slicer in the insert tab, and then you can choose the fields like category, date to filter data, and then add timeline. Go to the insert timeline and select a date field to filter data over time. And then you can organize the dashboard layout. You can create a dedicated sheet for the dashboard layout. Arrange the components, place, and then you can hide any unnecessary sheet. And then you can add the KPIs by creating the summary table or formula for key metrics. And then display the KPI in a visually distinct way using shapes or conditional formatting. It's actually, and then final touch for the dashboard. It's actually, if let's say we have an extra time, it will be good if we can learn this together. I mean, create the dashboard to get together. So basically you can translate whatever your output from your experiments. You can translate it to Excel, and then you can present all this data in a dashboard in Excel in the professional view. So it would be easy if you want to display or you want to show to other people, to other researchers. So now we can move to our module 5, the final one, the first section, automation and custom functions. So we can use the VLOOKUP or vertical lookup. For this one, we can use the VLOOKUP or vertical lookup to search for a value in the first column of a range and return a value in the same row from another column. So this is the syntax. So lookup value, this is the value that we want to return, we want to find, and then table array, column index number, and the range lookup. So this is the explanation for each variables in the syntax. So the lookup table, the lookup value is the value you want to search for. Okay. Yes, lookup value. So if let's say you want to find students with marks 80, then you can put 80 here. Table array, the range of cell containing the data. So you have to select your data in the table. Okay, column index number, the column number in the range from which to return the value, and then the range lookup, that one is the optional. So let's say this is the example here. So if let's say you want to find Mary's salary, so Mary's salary is 60,000. So your VLOOKUP your VLOOKUP syntax is 102, which is this one, A2 to C4, BC, A2 to C4 here, 1, 2, 3, yes, A2 to C4 here, and then 3, and then 4. So it will be written 60,000 here. Column index. Yes. So so here, because we want to find Mary's salary is in the third column. So that's why it is 3. So 102 is the data that we want to find. So Mary's 102, and then A2 to C4 Here, this the column itself. 3 is the column 3, and then this is false. That one is the optionals. Okay, so find here, written here as false. So it will return to you 60,000, Mary's salary. For the H lookup or horizontal lookup, searches for a value in the first row of a range and return a value in the same column from another row. Okay. For the syntax, this is the syntax, more or less similar. The difference is just in the third value here. Here, the row. This the row. Column. For the VLOOKUP, it will look into the column. But for the H lookup, we will look into the row here. So this is should be row. This is should be row. Okay. So the syntax is as this one. So all the explanation, all the variables details are more or less similar to the VLOOKUP. So this is the example here. Okay. So for the XLOOKUP, search for a value in a range and return a value from another range. Work both vertical and horizontal. It's more versatile than VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. So, and this is the syntax for the XLOOKUP. So, it contains lookup value, similar, lookup array, return array, and if not found, and match mod. Okay. It has, and the final one, it has the search mod here, should be. Okay, so for the lookup value, the value you want to search for, lookup array, the range where you're searching for the value, return value, the range from which to return a value. If not found, then you can see what happened if not found. And match mod, 0 means exact match, -1, exact match or next smaller, 1 is equal to exact match or next larger. Search mod is optional. Default is 1. So this is the example here. If you can see, the not found means what happened if we cannot find what we want to find, then it will display not found. Okay. Comparison of functions. So this is basically the comparison of these three functions. So lookup direction for the VLOOKUP is vertical, HLOOKUP horizontal, XLOOKUP we can look to both data. Exact approximate match, yes. And then default lookup column for the VLOOKUP, first column only. For the HLOOKUP, first row only. XLOOKUP, any column or row. Ease of use, VLOOKUP moderate, HLOOKUP moderate, XLOOKUP easy and versatile. So now we look into the if and or and if error. I think this is the last this is the last function, I think. Okay. Okay, so now we will look into the if and or if error function. So logical function is used to evaluate conditions and return specific results based on whether those conditions are true or false. So the if functions, this is the syntax for the if function. If the logical test, value if true, value if false. So for the if function, if the condition is satisfied, then we will return the value. Else, we will return other values. Okay. So for example here, check if a number is greater than 50. So the condition is we want to look for number that is greater than 50. So the condition will be, let's say your number is the number that you want to check or your data is in cell A1. So the syntax will be equal to if open bracket A1, which is all the data for the A1, is greater than 50. If it is greater than 50, then it will be considered as pass. If satisfied, it pass. If it is not satisfied, it will be display fail. This is the function for the if function. So this is for the multiple condition. If A1, the data in the A1 is greater or equal to 90, then that students will get A. If, in the same if the data in the A1 is greater or equal to 80, then the students will get B. If the data in A1 is greater or equal to 70, then you will get C. Less than that, it will go to F. If the students get 40, then you will get F. Okay, so this is for the multiple condition. For the AND function, for the AND function, the syntax is as this one. Okay, because the AND function check if all conditions are true and returns true if only if all conditions are met. Okay, so let's say logical A1, logical A2, and okay, so example here, to check a value of between two numbers. Okay, so if let's say A1 is greater than 10, this is the condition. A1 greater than 10 and A1 less than 20, then it will return true value. So meaning that if let's say the A1 is 9, so A1 is 9. So if A1 is 9, so it does not fulfill the first requirement here, so it will return false. But if let's say the A1 value, the value at A1 is 15. So 15 is greater than 10. So for the first condition, it fulfill. So we consider it as pass or true. And A1 is less than 20. So we also consider that the value at A1 right now, 15, is less than 20. So it's also true. So A1 with 15, with value of 15, satisfy these two conditions. So we can consider that it is true, not consider, but the Excel will return a value of true. Okay. Okay. So combine with if to return custom results. So basically all these logical functions, the if and or, we can combine it. Okay, depending on what we want to achieve. Okay, so if let's say in this example here, we combine the if and and. So if you want to combine the if and and, you have to really make sure the positions of the square here. Okay, not the square, the bracket here. So in this condition, because we say that the n is in the bracket, so we will check the n first, then only we will check the if. Okay, so this is the first operation. This is the first operation, then this is the second operation. So if let's say the A1 is 50, so 50, it fulfill fulfill this requirement and it fulfill this requirement. So it gives true value. So since it give the true value, so it will give you the pass. If this is true, then it will be written pass. Okay. So if let's say the value is 20. 20. If let's say the value is 20, so the 20 at A1 and 20 at B1, let's say 20. So this one, it is false. And then this one, it is also false. So it will return false, then it will go to fail. Okay, because the n is false. Okay. For the OR function, the OR function check if any one condition is true and return true if at least one condition is met. So for the n just now, we have to make sure that both condition is satisfied. But for the OR, it will be only one condition satisfied, it's fine. We can consider it's true. So this is the syntax and this is the example here. You can see here. So if let's say the A value is, let's say it is 9. So it fulfill this one, but it doesn't fulfill this one. But because it is OR, so we can consider that this one is true. So Excel will return for this condition as true. Okay, so same goes to this written here. Same as the example here. So we will read the OR first. So in this case, let's say we have 75. So 75. No. If let's say A1 is 90. Let's see, this 90. And then B1 is 70. So for the A1, it is true. For the B1, it is false. But the OR will return true. So in this case, it will give the excellent result. Okay. If error function, the if error function is used to handle errors in formula and return a custom result when an error occurs. So you can use the if error function to check whether any errors occur in the formula or not. So in this example here, the syntax will be if error, value, and then value if error. Okay, so let's say you want to handle the division. So if error A1 over B1 is A1 over B1, then error occur. So use the lookup to handle the missing data. If error VLOOKUP, the A1 table to false, not found. So if let's say this happen, then the VLOOKUP will display not found. Okay, if error occur, then the VLOOKUP will send not found because it fails to find any match. Okay. Introduction to Excel macros, to record and running macros. So macros in Excel are a powerful way to automate repetitive tasks by recording a series of actions you perform in the spreadsheets. So what are the macros? Macros are instructions written in VBA that automate tasks in Excel. So to record a macros and running a macros, the Excel will automatically generate VBA code as you perform action. And you can repeat the recorded step at any time with a single click or shortcut. So this is the way to enable the macros in Excel. You can go to File, Option, and then customize the ribbon, and then check the Developer tab and click OK. Enable macros, go to File, Option, Trust Center setting. Under Macro setting, select Enable all macros, and then you can click OK. The step to record a macro, you can go to Developer tab and click Record Macro. And then you can name the macro, enter a name with no spaces, and assign a shortcut key, and then choose where to save the macro, and then you can click OK. And then you can perform the action format, for example, format a data set and then select cell, apply bold, text, adjust and create borders. And then you can stop recording by click on the stop recording at developer tab. And then to run a macro, you can go to the developer and then click on macros and then select the macros name and click run. Run using a shortcut key. Press the shortcut key and then run from a button. Insert a button, developer, go to developer, insert and form control and click on button. You can draw the button, set macro and then click OK. Okay. Yeah, I think that will be the end for today's session. Sorry if I'm too quick. Sorry. So but if you have any question, I think you can because it's already at 12 o'clock, so I don't want to take your time. But if you have any question, you can straightly email to me and ask, and we can have a discussion. Okay. So I think I will be back to Pavitra. Pavitra?
Hello, Dr. Siti.
Yes.
Oh, Arif from SGS. So, on behalf of Ms. Pavitra, I would like to thank you for all the participants and also for Dr. also, technologist Dr. Siti Khadijah for this seminar today. Before we left the room, shall we have the picture and the participant that open the camera?
Arif, saya dah
Yes.
stop share ke?
Dah.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank
Another
you.
quick photo session before we left. And for those who don't fill up the evaluation form, please do in the comments so you have your e-cert sent to your email.
Ready for first page? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, second. The last one, last page.
Doctor, I have one question. Sorry, the short one. Is it can be asked now?
Yes, sure.
Okay, I just want to ask if we enable macros, isn't it dangerous for all the files because it will also enable the files, the macro in other files, which is potentially can be virus?
It really depends actually. If you think it is necessary to have to have it, then you can proceed with it. But if you think that it is not if you have doubt on it, then I think you can just not to proceed with it. But I think it shouldn't be a problem. But I can go back to you. I can check on it later. If you okay with it, can you give to me your details? You can just PM me in the chat session.
Okay, doctor, thanks.
All right, welcome.
Okay, that should be it. Thank you again, Dr. Siti. So we ended our session today. Thank you today for all the participants and also our speaker today. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you
Have a
everyone.
good-
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. I'm gonna show you too. Okay. Carry my money, go send the best for Nigeria, I go buy something.